Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about accountability in teams, especially for you as a team leader. That's what we will be talking about on this week. Thank you for choosing this video. Thank you for subscribing. Let's have a conversation just now. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I just have a conversation the other time to say this whole thing of calling everybody else guys is also not inclusive, also thinking about what the other people are fighting for rights to be known. So I think going forward I need to say hi ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the channel. It's something else that I'm still thinking about, but I'm always there to listen to what people are talking about, even if you don't comment it here. Sometime in the real world, because I'm also in the real world, I do listen to what people say and I do make the necessary adjustments. So this whole hi guys, it was at the back of my mind, but now I realize that it was not quite nice. Thank you guys, thank you ladies and gentlemen, thank you boys and girls for subscribing into my channel, hitting that like and notification bell so that when we have new videos like this one, something can pop up and you can say hello. Today we're talking about the benefits that you can get of going true to yourself, accountability to your team. I had the privilege of volunteering and being able to somehow, when I volunteered, because I'm such an accountable person, I found myself coordinating the team and being able to put the team into whatever direction for like 2 years now. I think around now I'm having the conversation with the powers that be to say, you know what, I think it's time for me to move on. I don't want to be fired. Within there, I've made a few observations that I want to bring it here. When somebody spoke about those accountability issues, I thought this is exactly what I've identified. Somebody had a speech where he said, as a leader, you are accountable to make sure that you have the right people in your team. We all think about, as long as you have people going into your own direction, that's good enough. The CIO was going to another level to say, as a team leader, as a team manager, as a business owner, you are accountable for making sure that the people in your team are aligned to achieving your strategic intent. Not just aligned to getting your coffee in the morning, but to making sure that the strategic intent, you are getting there. And on top of that, those people who are good in what they do, they are very, very good, not lazy people. You go out, their CV is very good, but they're not taking you to the strategic intent. It's worth having the conversation of letting those people go. And I know nobody wants to let people go, especially you might have a motivation if you are paying for those people and you're a business owner, because I had that talk with my sister when we had the coffee shop. We had to let go of people. It's easy because it's costing us money, but right now I was sitting with a scenario where people volunteered. And how could you fire a volunteer? Come on, you just let them volunteer. That's what we're thinking about. I've seen how it sucks up the energy from the whole team for having the people who are just dead weight. As much as you're thinking about the people that you're paying for, the people that are accountable into your own personal scorecard, even in the world where people have volunteered, you have to approach it the same way. They talked about the 6 benefits that I could relate to of getting these people out of the way to make sure that the team is in line. The first benefit is, once you get rid of the person who is pulling the team in a certain direction, a non-performer if we may call it, you are sending a message, a clear message to the team, and everybody else will be able to know that you don't tolerate non-performance or non-deviation from the strategic intent. If you said we're going to be live streaming every Saturday at 8 o'clock, everybody else who's on the production should be there. Once you maintain or you listen to one or few excuses, you know what's going to happen. Everybody's going to bring excuses. But once you say, listen, we've noticed that you are unable to, we're just going to let you go. And everybody else know that you don't tolerate people that are just that weight. Everybody will know that this behavior is not allowed in our team. The second one is, once the person leaves, I'm assuming this is where you have limited capacity, you are creating space for somebody else to come in. where you don't have limited capacity, and then you have 7 instances, I'm coming in, I'm part of your team, and I'm like the unicorn, you might want to hold on to me for much longer, even though I'm not bringing any value to your team. But if you're only supposed to have 10 people, you cannot afford to have a 10th person who's pulling you back. You just get rid of that person, and then you create space for another person to come in. And I know this is very difficult to swallow this when it comes to areas where we volunteered, because I had even set up names of people. I called them, I did what, others were like, and I sent that to the powers that be, and I said, these people needs to be taken out of the group. And I even went and I took them out of the schedule. But I think we're still holding on to say they are volunteered. We need every man in the world. To be honest with you, say bye-bye to the people, create space for others to come in. Number 3, which is a nice benefit, is I'm assuming now you are in competitive world, not in volunteering. You will be able to, after you create space and the person go, you'll be able to go to your competitor and then recruit a person from there to come work for you. This I've seen with my eyes, I've seen it happen. We had opened up a coffee shop in the arcade. We had our coffee shop, and there were also other food selling businesses, the same arcade. So what we did is, because we are up and vibrant and we had the fun, later on the people asked to say, the place has got some vibe, can't you just introduce boma papa and stuff, you know? So we introduced pap and beef and chicken and stuff like that as part of our menu. And with that, our neighbor's employee came straight to us to say, you know what, I'm not quite happy that side, can I come work for you? And I was very skeptical, because you don't want to be poaching people from other people, but it turns out it was a good decision, because the people that we had that were saying, nah, the money is not too much, blah, 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 and they left, we're able to tell them, you can pursue whatever you want to pursue. And we took our competitor, a person who was highly productive. He was even appreciative that we are giving them lunch and stuff, you know, small packs like those, you know. I believe everybody's supposed to have food, everybody's supposed to have coffee. We are in a coffee shop, whatever you want. Don't make reckless decisions that kill the shop, but you are entitled. And he was quite shook. So you can actually be able to go to your competitors and get the best person. Number 4, this I've never seen, but I've heard that once you let go of the person is able to go to your competitors and then to pull your competitors down. In our case, I had the privilege of having a person come to our side, and he was highly productive, and we were able to go up. I haven't had a privilege of seeing the people that were gone from our coffee shop join other businesses that I could see, so that they can track them down. I wish them all the luck. I hope wherever they are highly productive, you know, after this many years later, over 10 years now. Once you let go of the person, they're able to go. If it's specialized services like me in banking and it's specialized, the only place that they can go is another bank. That bank will have all these people who are dead weight, and they'll pull down the bank, and then your one will be able to, you know, progress even further. Number 5, once the non-performer go, you send a message to all the other non-performers that you do not tolerate that behavior, and that if you go on further, continuing to be a non-performer, we will also make sure that you find your way out of the team. The problem with where I was sitting with the volunteers is, I mean, equipment would get broken and the cables not being done properly, you know, small things like those. But you let them go because you're thinking, who else could we have? Other people, immediately after we switch off the production and the last song is sang, they don't even stay to clean up the cables and the stuff. They're off, they were gone. And once you see those things and you've spoken to a person once, the second time that you speak to a person, you just say, you know what, I think we love your skill, you're a very good camera person or a very good production person, but I think we have to part ways now. Your attitude is not culture fit. You're not part of the culture. And once all the non-performers see that you are not desperate, they will also fix up their acts to make sure that you are straight. Number 6, it sends another message to the top performers that you appreciate top performers. They'll start to work even harder. Now you will have an environment where the top performers are coming even more closer to each other to work even harder, and the non-performers will find excuses to go out of the team. Before you know it, you are only left with a team that has got top performers. And the last point, number 7, is Once you are left with a point where people, even if they increase their productivity just a little bit, the aggregate productivity of the whole entire team goes up. You know that there is no person who will be burdened. There's no burnout, of which that I was experiencing in a team, because you ask one person all the time, can you host Zoom? Can you help these people with the prayer? Can you do that? You're asking one person at a time. People burn out. If you have the whole team that's all engaged and they're all together like this, like a hand and glove, the aggregate, the average performance of the whole entire team will go up. And for that, everybody else will always come back to you, say, how do you keep people motivated? But it all started with you having the difficult conversation with that one non-performer. And I've had many a times, it is not easy to let go of people, but I'm saying, if a person was already a volunteer, you've signed a contract with them, or you handshook, you're shaking hands to say, listen, I'm gonna need 2 hours of your time every week. The person doesn't show up for that 2 hours, it's time to let go of the person. If you guys keep up to your approval, sometimes people might drag their feet, sometimes they might go even slower. Just have the conversation to say, listen, I only gave you a project for 2 months. It's already 2 months now, I have to pull myself out of it. The fact that the project is not done and I'm now disengaging from that whole point. You guys take too long from being productive. You are now a lot of non-productive people. I'm disengaging. If you can just leave the top performance in your team, or you become part of only the high productive, high performing teams or projects, your aggregate performance will always go up. Yeah, that's it for now. Please watch the next video because it's much more, even more exciting than this one. Thanks guys.